Hi everybody, I'm Mike Garsko with FindAMentor.com and SuccessToolTest.com. Welcome. Today I'm going to talk about masterminding and peer mentoring. Do you have the support that you need in your life to achieve the goals that are important to you? No goal of any significance is ever achieved without getting support. It's the first thing that we can do in success to become successful is to find support. That's why we built FindAMentor.com. So you can go out there and find mentors in that area of life that's important to you. We have over 1,900 categories where you can be a mentor in. Join and find a mentor. But if you can't find a mentor, like other mentoring organizations, we have a challenge finding more mentors than mentees. Typically we get 7 mentees join for every mentor. And so we decided to build in to our system an option where people can check the little box when they're building a profile that says, I'm interested in joining a masterminding or peer mentoring group. So what is masterminding and where does it come from? Have you heard of masterminding before? Masterminding was first coined by a man named Napoleon Hill, who's got a very interesting story. Napoleon Hill, the Napster as I call him, was a newspaper reporter in the early 1900s for a major US newspaper. And he was assigned the task of interviewing the richest man in the world at the time, Andrew Carnegie, the owner of the US Steel Corporation. So he gets the interview, he goes up to Andrew Carnegie's office and he does the interview. And Andrew Carnegie was so impressed with Napoleon Hill that he invited him out, him and his wife, out to their weekend cottage to discuss some things at a later time. So Napoleon Hill, of course, says, yes, I'm going to network with the richest man in the world over the weekend. I'm definitely going out. They go out to Andrew Carnegie's weekend cottage. And at one point, Andrew Carnegie and Napoleon Hill find themselves sitting in Andrew Carnegie's study. And Andrew Carnegie's about to make a proposal to Napoleon Hill, and he's got a stopwatch under his desk that Napoleon Hill can't see. Because he'd made this proposal to a few other people, and nobody had answered with a yes within the 60-second time frame that that Andrew Carnegie had in his head to go to the next level of this proposal. And the proposal went like this, and he needed a yes within 60 seconds. So he says to Napoleon Hill, Napoleon, you've got great writing skills, you're a good interviewer. I've been looking for somebody that I'm going to give letters of introduction to my entire network. And I want this person to go out and interview all the people in my network and myself and find out what it is that sets us apart from the common American folk. What do we do that makes us so successful in comparison to the common American? And then I want you to interview everybody, find out what it is that we do, write it in a book so that the common folk can read your book and live the American dream and become the true successful people like we have become. What do they need to do? Instantly, Napoleon Hill says yes. And he began his 20-year journey of interviewing Andrew Carnegie's network. And he interviewed people like Henry Ford, and Thomas Edison, and Alexander Graham Bell, and Einstein, and the Roosevelts, and Churchill, and the list went on and on. And after 20 years, he published his first book, Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich sold out its first printing in 2 weeks. Went on to sell 100 million copies. As of 2015, Think and Grow Rich sold 100 million copies. Now, Napoleon Hill wrote 4 or 5 other books. My personal favorite is Grow Rich with Peace of Mind. I just love the concept. But in every book that he wrote a chapter on masterminding. Because all of the people that he interviewed attributed much of their success to this mastermind principle that Napoleon Hill had developed or coined. And he defined masterminding as this: when 2 or more minds come together with a common objective, a third invisible, intangible force likened to a third mind is created. Have you heard the term 2 minds are better than 1? Yes, of course. When 2 people come together, you get that third force. When 3 people come together, you get the 4th force. Let me give you a couple of examples of how masterminding works in real life. The first story is about 2 young men. A friend of mine was telling me a story about how we were talking about masterminding. He was telling me a story about how his one child, when Pac-Man first came out, was really good at motor skills. His other child had a really good memory. Now, individually, the one with the memory could do really well because he remembered the places to go that got him through the game quicker. But the guy with the motor skills did really well because he could move through really fast. Now, when they put their minds together and the guy with the motor skills took control of the controller and the guy with the memory kind of guided him through the game. No, go here, no, go there. It's quicker to go here, quicker to go there. They got through the game quicker with more points than either of them had achieved on their own. So again, 2 minds are better than 1. The memory and the motor skills together, the strengths of each made them go through quicker. Now, on a business perspective, basically, every team is a mastermind group. So in business, a sales team is a mastermind group, an accounting team is a mastermind group, a production team is a mastermind group, and so on and so forth. One of the most dynamic mastermind groups that I was part of was in the mid-'80s. I was very young. I just took my first outside industrial sales job with an industrial rental company. And this company had gone through 3 years of sales decline. They fired their entire sales department and appointed a new young sales manager who hired 4 other young salespeople. There was 4 of us. All of us were under the age of 30. Our competitors had seasoned, experienced industrial rental equipment salespeople. And they knew the equipment. They had strong networks. We were green. We didn't know the industry well. We had sales skills. We had a strong equipment aptitude, but we didn't have the experience. So what we did is we masterminded on a daily basis. Here's what our day looked like. I'd come into the office at 8 o'clock in the morning, do my paperwork, get out on sales calls by 8:30. Back in the office at 4 o'clock, get my paperwork done, and into a masterminding session or a sales meeting at 4:30 every day. And the 4 salespeople and the sales manager sat around and we masterminded the sales process. And you know what we did? It was a very simple process. We went through a round table, and each person spoke about their entire day and all the sales calls that we made. So I'd share, I went to see this guy. Here's what he said. Here's what I said. Here's the equipment they needed. Here's what we recommended. Here's what happened. And in that process, as I went through all my sales calls, I got feedback from the other 3 salespeople. Oh, I saw that guy in my territory. Here's what I said to him, and he loved that. Or I had this equipment challenge in one of my jobs, and here's the equipment we recommended, and it worked great. And in that process, I learned, instead of from my own wins and challenges and having my learning curve slowly go up, instead of that, by listening to 4 people's stories and getting the feedback of 4, 5 different people with the sales manager, our learning curves, instead of going like this, they shot up like this. And in one of our worst economies ever, we increased sales 30% year over year in an industrial environment, and it was unheard of. Because we masterminded on a daily basis. We worked together. What worked? What didn't work? We learned from each other's wins and challenges, and we achieved the goals that the company set for us as a team. I was there for 3 years. 30% year over year increases. It worked extremely well. Now I'm going to share a story about why I think teams of 4 or 5 or 6 people are best. Definitely 2 minds are better than 1. So anytime you can get into a mastermind team with at least 2 people rather than just relying on yourself, you're going to achieve your goals quicker. But if you have teams of 4 or 5 or 6, you're going to achieve them even quicker, and you're going to get higher goals than you did if you didn't have that team. One of my first mentors was a meditator. And in one of his meditations, he kind of went into a trance mode, and he wrote out a whole little booklet. And part of that booklet was about masterminding. And here's what the phrase is that stuck with me, that I picked out, and it went like this. 4 wise men close and 2 distant make up the nucleus of your mastermind. One of the 4 is 2. Now I embrace that formula. I've been watching it for over 30 years in my career, working with different businesses and seeing how that team of 4 to 6 truly works. And it works incredibly well. The 2 distant in a mastermind team in a business environment might be an outside accountant or a lawyer or a business coach that comes in and gives some outside perspective. That helps the gelling mastermind team work and gel a little bit more. One of the 4 is 2 simply means that in that group of 4, there's at least one person that can play devil's advocate and show both sides of the scenario, the positive and the negative, so that when we're making decisions on what our actions are going to be, we can consider all different angles. So having one guy that has the strength to be that devil's advocate, to show both sides, really helps the mastermind team. And we had that on that team. So now what I want to do is give you a quick guideline for how to guide your masterminding sessions. It's a real simple formula that that most people follow in their meetings. When you do department meetings, they usually have an agenda that they follow. Same thing with any masterminding session. Have a simple, focused agenda that everybody follows. And here's what your mastermind components are to make that team gel really well. The first is consistent scheduled meetings. Now some teams need to meet daily. Our sales team meeting daily worked really well for us. I work with consulting to some construction companies. Their site teams meet daily in toolbox talks where they talk about safety and productivity, and that helps them start their days and be more productive. And the teams that do those daily toolbox talks typically get their projects done on time and on budget way more than those that don't do those daily toolbox talks. So with some groups, daily meetings are critical. With other groups, weekly meetings are enough. Project management teams, I've worked with some of those teams, and they meet weekly. But throughout the week, little groups of 2 or 3 get together and mastermind different challenges and processes that come up for the different project managers. So even though they do their weekly meeting, they mastermind all week long. So weekly meetings for some teams are quarterly meetings or annual meetings. It really depends on the mastermind team. When I see a business, like I said, every team is a mastermind. The sales team is a mastermind, production team is a mastermind, accounting team is a mastermind. What mastermind teams are you on? How can you guide those mastermind teams to be more effective? In personal life, your family is a mastermind group. Have you heard, as a man thinks, so he is, as a community thinks, so he is, as a country thinks, so it is? Well, that's all about big mastermind groups. Guide your mastermind groups effectively, and you will see differences in how people respond and how and they get more out of life, out of an effectively organized mastermind group. In business, simply make sure there's a schedule of meetings. The second step in a mastermind for business is to do a round table so that everybody gets to talk and everybody gets to give and receive feedback. The third important component of masterminding is having minutes for those meetings that you conduct, or minutes for the masterminding sessions. And why are minutes so important? Because in minutes, we get the opportunity to write our goals down. And then in the next meeting, we review last meeting's minutes, and in that we make ourselves accountable to other people. Now, we know from studies that have been done that if we write our goals down and make ourselves accountable to other people, we achieve our goals quicker and faster and more effectively than those that don't write their goals down. Now, this has been going on. Motivational speakers and writers have been talking about writing our goals down for hundreds of years. So, at the turn of the century, a woman named Gail Matthews from Dominican University decided that she wanted to do this study to see if this truly works. Does it work to write your goals down? So she put people into 3 groups. One group wrote their goals down. Another group didn't write their goals down. The third group wrote their goals down and then reported on their progress to a colleague or a friend on a consistent basis on how they were doing on their goals. Now, what we found is the people that never wrote their goals down achieved a few of their goals. The people that wrote their goals down achieved more of their goals than those that didn't write them down. But the people who wrote their goals down and reported on their progress and made themselves accountable to other people achieved more of their goals than the other 2 groups combined. So we know that writing our goals down and making themselves accountable, we will achieve them more effectively. Bankers all know that. They don't give a business person a loan unless they see their written goals in the form of a business plan and a budget and an operations plan. Bankers know that business people do better if they have written goals. Everybody does better if we have written goals. When you're in a mastermind team and you're making minutes of what you're committing to, you're making yourselves accountable to other goals, other people, and you're writing your goals down. So make sure you take minutes in those mastermind teams. Look to get into mastermind groups of 4, 5, or 6 people at a minimum, and they're going to be more powerful than mastermind groups of 2 or 3 people. So what I want you to do when you finish this video is to join findamentor.com, build a profile in that category. We have over 100 different categories where you can build a profile and be a mentor or a mentee. So build a profile in the category that you want to find a mentor in. If you don't find a mentor right away, check the little box when you're building your profile that I'm interested in joining a peer mentoring or masterminding group. Masterminding is simply peer mentoring, people with the same common objectives, looking for mentors, mentoring each other. If you're a mentor, build a mastermind group, get 3 or 4 mentees, and do group mentoring sessions rather than just one-on-one mentoring sessions, and help 3 or 4 more people instead of just one person. If you can't find a mentor, just build a mastermind group. Set your objectives, keep minutes, meet regularly, set your schedules, and report back to each other on your progress. Learn from each other's wins and challenges, and that's how you take advantage of masterminding. And that's how you get support if you can't find a regular mentor, by building a mastermind group. Reach out into your community, find people that have same common interests and goals, and join and build a mastermind group to support each other. Go out and make it an awesome day. Don't forget to join findamentor.com. Be a mentor, pay it forward in that area of life that you're an expert at or very good at, and look for a mentor in that area of life that you want some extra support in, or build a mastermind team. Go out and make it an awesome day. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.